Hello and welcome back to another video. We are back again with the PPR F1 League Racing here for round 2 at the Spanish Grand Prix. If you missed the last episode, before we spoil it, click the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screens and you can go check out the previous episode. And as always, if you want to watch these races live, it will be over on my Twitch channel, link in the description. But last time out in the Bahrain Grand Prix, first ever F1 League race, we came home with a 5th position, which was a fantastic result for us. Now we're lining up in Spain, a good qualifying for ourselves, P6 on the grid, medium tyres, is 5 red lights, and it is lights out and away we go. Now we're going to be slow off the start of this race, although we do actually get quite a good start compared to Ashes in the Mercedes alongside us, heading down in towards turn 1. We've got the inside line. We're going slightly free wide, but later on the brakes than Ashes there, and now we go side by side with my teammate Kane, but he just holds the position for now. I have a feeling that Kane's going to be a little bit quicker than me in this early stage of the race, being on those soft tyres, and Ashes having a little look up the inside, but can't quite go for it, but we leave the door wide open for him. He has a little look up the inside line. We're going to get the inside line for this next corner. He backs out of it, and we hold on to the position for the time being. Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier himself, is now behind us here as we start lap 3 of the Spanish Grand Prix. These guys behind, they're all on soft tyres, but the ideal strat is going to be a medium to hard strategy. So that's going to be the ideal strat for today. But Sebastian Stan, he's just going to get past very, very easy. He's got a much grippier soft tyres, and there's nothing we can really do to fight against those guys. But we'll get them back in the pit stop area. We did actually quite struggle around this Spanish Grand Prix. Sebastian Stan goes quickest at the moment, so he is absolutely flying. We got Ashes behind, who is going to make a simple overtake as well as he head down in towards turn 1. But we struggled around this track. Qualifying was great for us. We found some good pace, but usually I'm good in qualifying, and I'm bad in qualifying, sorry, but good in the races. This one seemed to be a little bit different. I was much better in qualifying. My race pace wasn't really there, but again, it's a learning curve this season. It's the first season in league racing for us, as Ashes all out of shape through turn 1 and 2, as we're just going to slide it up the inside into turn 3 and retake that position back into P6, and that's going to be good to put a little bit of a buffer between myself and driver DNB. We've got some fast drivers on the medium tyres hunting us down behind. As always, heart rate monitor in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, so if you want to see how high my heart rate gets during these races, keep an eye on that, because sometimes it does get up to the 160 mark for sure. As Ashes again making an easy overtake there on the inside, gets the inside job done here in Spain on lap 7, and now maybe for them they can push on, no more mistakes, and see if they can catch up to the guys up in the top end of the field. But Sebastian Stan, 6 seconds now up the road ahead of me. Those guys, they're in a nice little cluster, but we just don't have the pace to fight with them for the time being. As we go through the final chicane now, and it looks like Ashes darting into the pit lane. Those soft tyres only lasting about 7 to 8 laps for a few of those runners. So they're in the pits, which is good news for us, because they're definitely going to be doing a 2-stop strategy. We're on the 1-stop as we've got driver DNB right behind us. They have a little look down towards turn 1. Hold it side by side. We're not really too sure whether we want to fight them or not. He's just so much quicker than me at this stage of the race. I try to hang it in there ever so slightly, but I was just never ever going to be able to hold on to that position. Much quicker than me at this stage of the race. We've got some more soft tyre runners coming into the pits, including Weasel Albon at the start of lap 10, coming into the pits for a set of medium tyres in this race. I think those guys probably doing a soft medium, but I may be wrong on that one. As we get close, we're going to use driver DNB as a bit of a tow. We're going to stick behind him, get the DRS hopefully, and allow him to pull us closer to the guys up front. And Sebastian Stan into the pits. Lost a lot of time on that in-lap there. So whether they had a collision with someone else, got a bit of damage, or just made a mistake, or maybe the soft tyres just dropped off drastically in that lap, we're now up into P4. This is why it was wise to go on to the mediums. We're going to lose a lot of time to those soft runners early on, but we're now into P4. We're in a very, very good, solid position. Jim Wong pitting on those medium tyres. So maybe an indication that it could be time to come in for us. And we are coming in. So mediums onto hard tyres, hopefully till the end of the race, unless there's any late safety cars. And we're just going to get stopped just before the line there. No penalties. We do not want to get a 5-second time penalty, especially in league racing, because everyone is always so close together. A 5-second time penalty can you lose you a lot of time, as Jim found out last time in the Bahrain Grand Prix when he won the race. But a 5-second time penalty dropped him all the way down to P4. We come out of pit stop. We're in P13 at this stage of the race. But again, there are going to be drivers ahead who are on a different strategy, doing a two-stopper. As we got Sandy Baggy coming out of the pit lane. I think he was only a couple of cars behind us. Might actually have been the driver behind us when we did come into the pit stop. And there we go. We regain the position on him, moving ourselves up into P11, just outside the points for the time being. As the Ferrari comes into the pits. Dirk Chocolate also into the pits. Of course, he's in this league. Not really been racing with him. We had a little battle in Bahrain, but we made him look a bit silly as we forced him to crash into another driver. We're now on lap 17 of this Spanish Grand Prix. More drivers coming into the pits now. TJD, and that's going to be a fairly simple overtake to put us up into the points now. P8 in the points. A good position. Again, we haven't got too high standards in this league. This is my first ever F1 league. We were aiming mainly just to get a P10 here or there. Fight for the points every now and again, as I absolutely hate that corner. It is my least favourite corner on the game, and it looked like it was someone else's least favourite corner as we move up into P7, as they have, not sure if it's a DNF or just crashed into the wall. Or just spun, but not good for them. We're up into P7. But every single time through here, and again, you have to make a choice of either you cut the corner, but it will unsettle the car, or you miss the apex, and then you lose time to the guys behind. It's really, really difficult, and it just takes a lot of precision, which we don't have. As we cut it now to lap 23, the safety car has been deployed. This is good for us because it's the same situation that we had in Bahrain. Everybody is going to be pitting for fresh rubber. If you're in P1 and you don't pit for softs, P2 is most likely going to do that, and then everybody else is going to follow. It's going to be a dominoes effect. So everybody is really forced to the same strategy, as we have an absolute disaster. You can see my face cam still moving. The gameplay isn't, and that is because we have had a game crash. Our game has crashed at this point. Luckily, it's not at a too bad situation, because no one can overtake me on track. No matter how slow my car is going, no one can overtake me. The downside to it is that the AI have not brought me into the pits for a fresh set of soft tyres, which means we're going to be a sitting duck. We are now in a dilemma. We can come into the pits, go on to soft tyres, and drop a lot of positions. We could probably drop down. I think we were like P7 before the pit stop stage. Probably drop us down just outside of the points. Or we try and see whether we can stay on hard tyres and just try and defend from the rest of the field. I didn't want to take the risk. I wanted to go onto soft tyres. I just felt like, from looking at Bahrain last week, the hards versus fresh softs, we just got absolutely mugged off by Kane, my teammate, last time in Bahrain. So I didn't want to take that risk. I thought it's better to be on the right tyre at the right time. We would have just been a sitting duck. And at least this gives us a chance to fight back through the field. TJD, though, coming into the pits as well. Looks like maybe they've did something similar, or just missed the pit stop and now coming in for a set of softs. But here we are, lap 26 out of 33, going to go on to lap 27. The safety car restart, going very, very slowly through the final chicane. Very easy for drivers to have little nudges here and there, gain a 5-second time penalty, which thankfully sometimes can be removed after the race. No penalties for us at the time being, and again, a terrible safety car restart, something that we do need to work on in the next couple of races. But P10, we are in the points. Going to be hunting down the Mercedes of Rickett now here on lap 29 of this Spanish Grand Prix. In the DRS, using ERS, but he is in the slipstream of the car in front. No DRS for him, though, and it's going to be a simple overtake on the inside, braking later than Rickett, down in towards turn 1, and there we go, moving ourselves into P9. The drivers ahead of us do have time penalties, so this is a great chance for us to gain, as one of them has actually overtaken my teammate Kane. But coming through the final corner now, Jim Wong is our race winner, but this time no penalties for Jim. He is going to hold on to the race wins. We come through the final corner and we're going to make it back-to-back points finishes. A penalty for Dark, and the driver in front will promote us, although for some reason the game has dropped us down a few positions. I believe that is just because we did have that game crash and there was a bit of a glitch, but the final standings will pop up on your screen now, as Jim Wong is our race winner today. Davey Lee finishes in second, looking like a nice little battle between those two forming, as Davey Lee was the winner in Bahrain. Weasel finishes the race in third, with Ashes in fourth. Driver DNF for the Alpine team finishes in 5th with Kane, my teammate, in 6th. I finished in 7th. So again, good points on the board, more than we were expecting. I mean, it was a little bit disappointing because we did start in a good P6 for this Spanish Grand Prix. And I would have liked to have gained positions, as that's what I did in Bahrain. But sometimes you've just got to take it as it comes. That screen freeze really hurting us. And maybe we could have got a few more positions here or there if we did pit for softs and we were still in that position. But at the end of the day, we will never know. We will never know. We dealt with the hand that we were dealt with, and we got on with it, and we got the P7 at the end of the day. Rickett was in 8th with Dark in 9th and TJD in 10th. And then looking at the drivers' standings, we got Davey Lee leading the way, 43 points ahead of Jim Wong. We are currently in P6 in the championship, 16 points on the board. Very good amount of points for us, more than we were actually expecting at this stage. So very happy with that. And look, Dirk Chocolate not even on the leaderboard at the moment. So miles ahead of him. And the Constructors' Championship after round 2, AlphaTauri leading the way. But if we look at Red Bull, we are in P3 and we are in with a shout of the drivers of the Constructors' Championship at the moment. So if we can carry on this trajectory, working together as a team, me and Kane, getting some solid results, who knows what could happen? We could fight for that Constructors' Championship. But if you want to watch these races live, head over to my Twitch channel. PPR Season 6 will be beginning on the 16th of February, 8 PM on a Wednesday, so go and check that out. And of course, if you are enjoying the content over on this YouTube channel, smash that subscription button. But until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.